welcome to the show. Today we are going to dive into the world of poetry, its beauty, its mystery, and its deep roots here in Waco, Texas. Our guest is someone who spent a lifetime celebrating the power of words,
Yes.
Preston Kirk. Good to have you here.
Thank you,
He's a
Ann.
writer, a passionate advocate for poetry, and what some might affectionately call a walking archive of Waco's literary heritage, from local classrooms that inspired generations to the halls of Baylor and the renowned Armstrong Browning Library. Preston has studied, written, and really lived poetry in all its forms. Today, we're going to explore the source of his inspiration, the poets who shaped Waco's cultural landscape, and the national recognition that he has earned, and even a legendary tale or two, maybe, from his long time as Baylor's campus poet of ill repute. So settle in as we celebrate poetry, place, memory, just some wonderful things ahead as we talk about the story of our great community. Good to have you here,
You're very
Preston.
kind, Dan. I
Oh,
appreciate
this is
that.
fun. So let's begin with the roots of your interest in poetry, if you would. Was it a scholarly beginning, a personal spark because you just wrote poetry as a kid, or
Well,
what?
no, I don't think that my childhood introduction to poetry is any different from a lot of Americans of all walks of life. I mean, we start out learning Mother Goose's nursery rhymes, Mary, Mary, Quack Contrary,
Roses are
li-
red, violets are blue.
Little Bo Peep, Twinkle,
Ah,
Twinkle, Little Star. We uh, go to church or to the synagogue. We learn the Psalms,
the hymns
which
and
are
yeah.
hymns. We sing music in school, and then probably by the fifth or sixth grade, we're asked to write our very own poem. And when we discover we're pretty good at that, uh, we keep feeding that little bug that says, you need to write some more. For me, in high school, I had a fabulous teacher at La Vega High, and that was the inimitable, legendary Mabel Legg.
Yes, she was
She
a
taught,
legend.
she taught Shakespeare and literature and
Mhm.
English literature, and because she taught Macbeth, we called her Lady Maclegg. But uh, she stimulated so many students to become good writers and journalists and
Mhm.
to appreciate the literary arts. And I recall that she lived to 102.
Yes.
And I know that in the summer of her 100th birthday, she was still in Waco, living at the Quality Care,
Hmm.
and she was taken to a July 4th picnic. And there she recited for more than an hour from memory poetry that she had learned, patriotic poetry. And you have to remember that she was teaching school at age 16.
So I remember I did a story on her a long time
Oh,
ago. Yeah.
yeah.
And her story is remarkable as a teacher, as an educator.
The train came by the one room
Uh-huh.
schoolhouse. The soldiers were waving. The war was over. Is that not inspiration? And then, many years after I started my journalism career, I came back to Baylor to dedicate a brick on the Walk of Fame up to Old Main.
Hmm.
And I spotted her in a wheelchair, and I went over to her and greeted her. And I said, "So you have a brick here?" And she said, "No, I have two bricks. I earned 2 degrees here
Yeah.
because the state made 100 plus years ago these young teachers to come back and actually earn their certificate to
Hmm.
teach." So
Hmm.
she was totally inspirational. I won the English medal, the drama medal, and the Spanish medal while at La Vega. So at one point, I'd written a poem, and the Wilkerson Hatch Funeral Home said, "We would like that poem for our newsletter." And I got $4. And I thought I was
You were a
rich.
published author.
That's about $32 in today's money. So that was nice money
Oh
for a
man.
kid.
That I'm just so thrilled to talk to someone who actually had Ms. Legg as a teacher because again I knew her as a very elderly lady and truly a legend though, as you say. That is neat. Have you been a part of poetry societies?
Well, I would uh, I would probably have to characterize myself as not a student of poetry, but a practitioner of poetry, because I mean I know iambic pentameter and metaphors and similes and onomatopoeia, the sounds we make in poetry, but uh, I haven't studied consonants and uh, deeply taken a poetry course. My great enjoyment is from the writing and presenting, and as you know from our earlier meetings, I was an actor for many
Mm-hmm.
years,
Yeah.
so the poetry was a big help. And going back to Mabel Legg, she made every student memorize the prologue to the Canterbury
Oh,
Tales.
yes. Well, we all had to do that.
Joffrey
Juan de April with the
with the
Sota
Shurasote, the Drot marched Persit to
to
the
the
Rote,
Rota.
and it's there. You
I know.
can't erase it. But it, yes, I joined while I was at Baylor University, the Poetry Society of Texas, and they made me their youngest counselor at that time for this area because we were trying to create a Waco chapter. We didn't have a Waco
Mm-hmm.
chapter, and so I wrote for the newsletters. I interviewed two living poet laureates of the state of Texas who lived in Waco, Margaret Ralty Edwards and Catherine Harris. And
Oh,
they were very helpful. They gave me some of their publications, which I, many years ago, gave to the House of Poetry at Baylor, which is no longer exists except in the Texas collection.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was early and I was charged up and I made mistakes.
Well, that's how we all learn. National recognitions, connection to your work,
Well,
Preston?
I've been in a national anthology called Poems Take Flight because as a journalist, I covered the Apollo space shots 8 through 14.
Yeah.
I was standing in Mike Collins' front yard, who was circumnavigating the moon when Neil Armstrong stepped off.
Mm.
And I wrote a poem called The Leap. And it was about our leap into space, starting with Icarus and the winged
Mm-hmm.
one learning to fly, but how we have taken one step after another to get to the moon. And so they published that. More recently, I was surprised. Someone had submitted a poem of mine to Garrison Keeler. Now he was the
Oh, I
host.
never missed a Prairie Home Companion
There you
show.
go. And he
Yeah.
does a daily program called the Writer's Almanac, which
Uh-huh.
is delivered verbally and in print. And somebody had seen it, and, and so I turned on my computer, and I'm over on Traces of Texas, which is a Facebook page,
Yeah, I follow them. That's a great.
over 1 million followers.
Yeah.
And it says a shout out to Preston Kirk for one of the best three poems in October by Garrison Keeler's Writer's Almanac. I mean,
Wow.
I didn't submit that. And so I'm
What a
I'm
treat.
I'm pretty full of myself at the moment.
Hey, I don't blame you one bit. I mean, that's kind of the pinnacle. I mean, really, Garrison Keeler, you got his attention.
Well, I think next month, and I can't recall the exact name of a publication that is dedicated to dragonflies,
Hmm.
poetry, photography,
Yeah,
scientific
I've got a
studies.
friend who specializes in photography.
That's probably
Linda Taylor, yeah.
Linda Taylor, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
And
gonna have her on the show. I've got her lined up. I
oh,
just haven't
she's
done it yet.
fantastic. She
Yeah.
went back and found some of my older poems about damselflies and
Mm-hmm.
dragons and identified them. I didn't know. I mean, that I took 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Oh, she knows them all.
so they're going to publish
That's cool.
Conversation with the Dragonfly. And in poetry, we call this personification, which means that we assign human voice and
Right.
to
To
other
an
objects.
insect. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
to
right. Yep,
insects and
that's what it is.
inanimate.
Yeah. Um, so you're obviously your poetry has and prose has appeared in print. I mean,
Houston Chronicle,
yeah.
literary magazines at Baylor and North Texas State University, uh, newspapers in Belmead, church magazines, anywhere they'll have ink on paper, I'm trying to get in.
You're close. So, have you done public readings, public performances
I
of your
have
poetry?
done poetry slams in
Mm-hmm.
Austin, which was hosted by the mayor of Austin.
Yeah, what
And
exactly is a poetry slam for folks that
well,
don't know
it's a
that term?
competition. It's a competition, and the audience tends to be the vote. What I learned, though, in my first poetry slam was the young poets, they talk fast. It's almost somewhere, it's like a rap almost.
Yeah.
And my delivery was so slow that I think I had the audience attention. They could keep up. And so that was helpful.
Hmm.
And I've presented at theater lobbies, funeral homes, reunions, churches, just about anywhere you can think of, libraries and historical society meetings. And I even presented in Galveston a few years ago. I'd written about a ship, a concrete ship that is
Hmm.
sunk out in Galveston Bay, and it was celebrating its 100th anniversary.
Hmm.
So
So
not
you find your inspiration from all kinds of
I,
places.
I wake up in the morning saying, what am I going to encounter today? I
Yeah.
mean, I write about sunken ships, nature, emotions. Uh, I wrote a song poem when I came back to Waco 2 weeks before the pandemic in 2020.
Hmm.
And
And welcome back. We're glad you're
well,
back. You
well,
and your
thank you.
wife, yeah.
And it's called "You Can't Go Home."
But you can.
Well, I hope I'll share it with you. It's very
I
short.
would like to, yeah, please.
Now, I'm not in my singing voice, so we've got rain and allergies today. You can't go home. In the town where I was formed, Waco, I've now returned, fully reformed. Tell all my friends I'll make amends. And now you've all been duly warned. Been 50 years since I was there, Waco, but I'm still a Baylor Bear. Close again with my dear twin, and brother Dave can cut my hair. Yes, I know it's Nouveau Waco. Give some credit to Chip and Joe. Half the nation's made it a destination, and we're all eager to see it grow. Waco's a place for growing old, loving on our green and gold. Much to do before our adieu, but we promise you that will be bold. Ta-da!
Ah, a little nod to the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. I love
Yes,
it.
that's
I
right.
love it. I
Uh,
love it.
Apologies to the Beatles.
No, oh, that's why we love poetry. You mentioned funeral homes, but so often, on the program for a deceased person, there'll be a poem, and there's like flowers, and thank you for these beautiful flowers you brought,
Thank you.
Preston.
Happy
But
Thanksgiving.
they have a way of comforting, and so does poetry.
Yes, I'm often asked why do we want people to read poetry? Why do we want them to write poetry? They have so many benefits, and I was thinking that you're probably going to ask me that question today. So I actually
That's good
prepared
because I
something.
didn't know I was going to ask you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're a mind reader too, Preston
I
Kirk.
actually prepared something. Uh, Poetry begins with research and curiosity, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
So I looked this up, and it has emotional, cognitive, and social benefits. And I just want to talk about the emotional benefits
Yeah.
because we are in the holiday season
Hmm.
and people are sentimental, they're emotional, uh,
Some are very lonely.
they're very lonely in recollections. So it said emotional processing and catharsis is another psychological benefit of writing and reading poetry. And poetry provides a safe and creative outlet to explore those processes.
Hmm.
It's self awareness, self discovery. I mean, every time I write a poem, I discover how am I connected with this subject and how did it affect me. It's stress reduction. And of course, it increases hope and resilience. You find that in a lot of poetry. It's not all dark, it's not all uh, jive talk.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. so much more I want to talk to you about. You've said that we're surrounded by poetry, so I want to get into that when we come back. But we're going to take a quick break.
That sounds good.
And I want to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Fox & Co. Bakery, where we bake foxy things. We'll be right back. A big thank you to our sponsor, Fox & Co. Bakery. Check them out for delicious baked goods and your catering needs.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle.
The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It is all natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic.
Waco Civic Theater is presenting Every Christmas Story Ever Told and Then Some through December 14th. What begins as a simple retelling of A Christmas Carol quickly snowballs into a laugh-out-loud sprint through every Christmas story ever written. From Rudolph to Frosty and global traditions, holiday chaos you never saw coming is right there. 3 actors, dozens of characters, and an avalanche of festive fun make this the ultimate holiday mashup. Packed with humor, heart, and more holiday spirit than a mug of spiced cider, this show is a joyous reminder that Christmas isn't just one story, it's every story we share, laugh over, and cherish together. The Dr. Pepper Museum welcomes Waco and the surrounding communities to a Dr. Pepper Christmas happening Saturday, December 13th from 4 to 7 p.m. Whether you're a longtime Dr. Pepper fan or simply looking for a unique holiday experience, you can join them for an unforgettable celebration as a community. There will be a meet and greet with Santa, a holiday make-a-soda experience, free museum admission, and holiday raffle baskets. A Dr. Pepper Christmas is a free event excluding the add-on ticketed experience, so be sure to join them for the magic of a true Dr. Pepper holiday. I'm Elizabeth Riley with Act Locally Waco, and I will see you next time.
And we are back with Preston Kirk, and it is a delight to have him on the show. I've already told him he just needs to be a regular because he is like an everyman. You've done so many different things. You've been an actor, and when you told me that you were in Bernie, the movie Bernie, I had to go back and watch and find you, and there you are, dabbing your eyes
Yes.
at the funeral scene.
And
Anyway.
I've been in 7 movies that I was in funeral scenes,
Uh-huh.
and that's a signature of mine. Just like the guy on WKRP that always had the Band-Aid.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you've just done so many wonderful things, and but I'm really fascinated with how many gentlemen I've had on the show who are poets. Maybe they'd written a book or something, but then offhand say, "Well, I've written poetry." I just think it's lovely that you have this emotional side, and then you want to bring it out and convey it on paper.
Well, it. I thought of myself for many years as a closet poet because I wanted to exhibit a macho image. I wanted to be in sports, got hurt playing football.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So I kind of edged out, but by
Yeah.
the time I got at Baylor, it opened up. I became president of the Sigma Tau Delta, and that particular chapter has been there for 90 years, promoting writing, literary efforts, and poetry.
Yeah.
And they meet on a regular basis. And it was there that I met my first Texas Poet Laureate. I invited William E. Bard there in 1967. And he came and spoke and presented. He signed a book and gave it to me, and it was wonderful. And then when I got to Houston, I was named vice president of the International Poetry Federation, and I wrote their newsletter and wrote for them. I met Vassar Miller, who was the Houston Poet Laureate. As I've already mentioned, Margaret Ralty Edwards and Catherine Harris here. Dolly Lee Davis Smith was a Waco-based poet laureate. She moved elsewhere before she was named. And then there was Mildred Lindsay Rayburn, and she was the poet laureate in 1953. But Texas has had 60, I think it's 61 Texas poet laureates. And the current one is Octavio Quintanilla, and he is a visual artist, a professor at Our Lady of the Lake University in San Antonio. He authored a book called Las Horas Imposibles, The Impossible Hours.
Impossible Hours.
Now he's about to leave, and the new poet will be has been named as a University of Houston English professor, and his name is Kevin Proofer. And so this is the highest honor for a poet, and he's not only a poet, he's an essayist, he's a literary scholar, and he's an editor. So this is a level that poets should aim for, and many of them come right out of the Poetry Society of Texas.
Well, and there have been many connected to Waco, but Waco as a city does not have its own poet laureate.
It does not.
So tell me about that.
Well, you have to ask the big question, why does Waco not have
why
one?
not?
I mean, we are a hotbed of poets and poetry.
Yeah.
And in addition to the Sigma Tau Delta, you have a Waco Word Fest that's been held here, the Waco Poet Society. You have one called Heart of Texas Poets. They call it Hot Poets. I like
Poets.
that.
Yeah, I got you.
And the Baylor Poetry Club, and even Lifelong Learning at the Baylor Mayborn has a significant interest group called Poetry. And we meet monthly, about 10 to 14 of us, and we exchange. And we have a writer who is a physician, was with Waco Family, and we all were challenged to write a poem about Blue 52. Now that's a whale who sings at a level so high that other whales can't hear it. And so he's never been photographed, only been picked up on sound. So we all wrote poetry. Mine was called Whale Fair because it's called the loneliest whale in the world. But Charlie Stern, bless his heart, said he wasn't a poet when he came to us 2 years ago. And now he has the most beautiful book coming out called A Call from the Blue.
I've got him scheduled to be on the show.
Oh, that's fantastic. You will love it. You will love it.
Stay tuned. He's coming up. Yeah.
So we have all these things going on in poetry. In addition, we have the Bill Poetry Festival, which runs for 3 days and brings national poets. And this is for contemporary poetry. And I attended that last year at the Armstrong Browning Library. And can anyone forget that is the shrine to two of the greatest English poets? What about our American poets?
Yeah.
We need to put them on a platform.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to an opportunity to address the city council and say, why not? San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas. I mean, in Dallas, that poet is in place for 2 years, and they are strongly vetted. They have to have certain credentials, and he is awarded about $20,000, and he's required to put so many hours in speaking, creating poetry, presenting poetry, and encouraging other literary efforts. So I hope Baylor.
Well, I wonder, is there a grant or something out there? I mean, it's all a function of money, as they say. So.
Well, if you look up Dallas Poet Laureate, and it gives you the page, all the requirements, and at the bottom there are all those big sponsors. And at the end of the term, there's a company called Deep Vellum, a play on the words Deep Ellum, and Deep Vellum publishes the poems that he's written in that period as a book.
I know a book.
So it's a double reward in my view.
That is fascinating. I'm so glad you mentioned, though, the Armstrong Browning Library. I want to talk a little bit about that because it, to me, is the jewel of Waco,
Oh,
and
boy.
it's a, the most beautiful building. And as you say, it is a shrine to famous poets, Elizabeth Barrett Browning and Robert Browning, and Dr. Armstrong, who but the whole thing, the story behind that is
Did you
so
know that
amazing.
Mabel Legg worked under Dr. Armstrong?
That does not surprise me one bit.
And I wrote back in 1967 for a national publication called The Rectangle a story about that. And I said in the story, this is a $2 million masterpiece. Can you imagine what that building's worth
Oh,
now? It is
yes.
the largest private collection of stained glass windows in the world. The windows tell the story of the poems. The big bronze doors, which are so heavy, little people can't open them and need help. They also tell the story. You cannot go through that in a single day or even a single week
Yeah.
and experience everything it has to offer. And of course,
And it's this time of the year, it is decked out for the holidays.
beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
I was told when I first went to Baylor and discovered the library that co-eds, as soon as they enter their freshman year, make dates for their weddings so that they can get on the list to have their wedding in the library.
Yeah.
That's poetry.
Yeah. My first daughter-in-law, my oldest son's, when she was the bride to be, she had her engagement portraiture taken there at ABL. I mean, it is just it's a beautiful building, and if people haven't been there, take the time to go and take a tour.
Oh, yeah.
It is well worth it.
Lots of events there that people can go to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
I would
yeah.
recommend. In fact, speaking of events, click on your web search and look for open mic events in Waco. Brotherwell Brewing has a regular event. There's one at a coffee shop across from Hotel 1928 occasionally, and
So an open mic event means poetry.
poetry.
Okay.
And you simply need to arrive early, sign up, and present your poetry to an audience that is attuned to poetry. And I think the Fabled Bookstore and Cafe, I presented there a couple of times. I presented on National Public Radio in Dallas. And it is a thrill to have that affirmation of talent that I think is God given.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And well, but you're willing to use it and share it, which is so great. So let's circle back to this little known tale about your tenure as Baylor campus poet of ill repute.
Well,
And you had a run in with Baylor administration?
yes, I did. I was the editor of the Phoenix, which is a literary, an editor of the Phoenix, which is a literary journal at Baylor. It's been there for many, many decades. And as I said, I was active in the Poetry Society and Sigma Tau Delta, and I was pretty full of myself. And there was a magazine on campus called the Ascani, and I was asked to write a story for it. And I said, I want to write about being a young poet. Well, I made all kinds of tragic mistakes. I wrote as if the young poet, myself, was riding a motorcycle around Waco and across campus, which I did. And I was critical of what I saw. And I was critical of older poets. I was critical of the smells around LaSalle, where the sewage plant was, which had never been cured for a long time. I was critical of things on campus. I used a word I should never have used in addressing a minority, and I made those mistakes. It was the way I felt at the time, and now I am one of those octogenarian poets. And Margaret Raltis had told me, and I know she impressed me before I wrote this. She said, we need the organizing of poetry in Waco. We need to leave that to younger poets, younger people who want to move in literary circles. Well, I must have embraced that a little too much. The 3,000 copies were seized after they came off the press and destroyed.
Oh,
I don't know if I may have it here.
so you don't have one copy you weren't
I
able
have
to?
one copy.
Oh, gosh.
I found it. I
Oh.
won't give it up. No, I probably don't. I probably shouldn't show you that. But it's a photo of me on a motorcycle. I'm sitting on a hilltop before you turn off to go to the Waco airport, just off Lakeshore Drive. That was not developed at that time. And I'm wearing a German military helmet. And so I insulted veterans, minorities,
Oh,
Waco,
everybody, you
and
equal opportunity
Abner
insulter.
McCall was, I'm surprised he didn't call me in the office, but I was to get my degree about 3 weeks later.
Oh
So
gosh.
thank goodness.
Oh, well, yeah, you shared with me before we started the Lariat. It did a wonderful, wonderful write-up on you, Lariat legend and interview expert. Of course, the Lariat is the paper of record at Baylor University.
Well, I'm going to be, I did find this. This is what,
Oh, you found it.
this is
Oh,
what it
here, let
looked
me
like.
hold it
I'll
up.
let you do that.
I'll hold it up like this.
Hopefully not too many close-ups. I rode that motorcycle all through college. I couldn't afford a car. And,
Oh man.
but, you know, you start out, as I was saying, young, you encounter poetry. It just has a way to express yourself, to release your tensions, to really to learn other cultures, because I've learned all kinds of other cultures through poetry. So I brought a couple of things to share.
Please, I do want, and the time we have left, I want to hear some of your poetry.
Well,
We've heard you sing. So.
Today is a very stormy day. And so I would like to read one I wrote a few years ago called Weather Beater. And if the camera can pick it up, this is a yellow bus zipping across the countryside, trying to get the students before the storm hits.
Yeah.
So Weather Beater, big yellow bus rolling across the plains, worried driver intent to beat the rains. Precious cargo gushing with excitement from a day of friends and enlightenment. Rainfall is welcome, you can't buy it. Syntax soil is thirsty, you can't deny it. A real good soaker could end a forest fire, but a deluge makes flooding that much higher. That sweet smell, Aussies call it petrichor, arrives like a visitor from a distant shore. The dog's inside and the chickens are penned, the car's in the port, and here comes the wind. Farmers and ranchers hurry and scurry. Moms think of their kids. They try not to worry. But that bus rolls up in the nick of time, just minutes ahead of a Texas squall line. Now it can pour, fall, pound, even splatter, shower, pelter, or burst. It doesn't matter whether it's mizzle or drizzle or a real monsoon. The bus got here first on that stormy afternoon, kind of like we're having today.
Yeah. Yeah. But in Texas, we don't usually fuss about the rain.
Oh, that's
We're
true.
glad to see it.
But you know, in this period of the holidays, I reached back and I wanted to find something very, very special. And it's a poem that I think I can get my hands on it here pretty quick. You Didn't Call Today. And it's about a person who's kind of down and out, and he's trying to reach his girlfriend. Now, this is a photo that was provided to me by a
The
professor.
wall phone.
Yeah, a professor at St. Edward's University. And from his photos, many of my poems are written from images and photos. And so it's a phone on an ugly wallpaper in a hallway.
Yeah.
And the man writes this way, and he's obviously lonely. You didn't call. My pay, my room, the whole world's gotten small. But there's an ugly phone just down the hall, firmly fixed to the boarding house wall. Communications central for one and all. I close my eyes. The wallpaper makes me puke, and wait patiently as if it might ring by a fluke. And if it were to ring, even just by chance, and was for me, I'd break into a happy dance. I often swear at Alexander Graham Bell, but he's not to blame for my low rent hell. I stare at the instrument of his mighty success, and I rue the days and nights of my excess. I've worn a rough spot on the hardwood floor, standing by that lonely phone outside my door. Sure, I could hear it in my cramped, foul room, but I wait in the hallway to escape the gloom. The silence speaks volumes. You were a boozer. You ran away. You tried but failed. You're a loser. When I'm not washing dishes for dismal pay, only cigarettes and coffee seem to fill my day. It's raining now. As I wait and quietly cry, without your voice, I might curl up and die. But I've not heard a word from you, baby doll, because once again, you didn't call.
Mm.
So we vanquish those emotions by letting them out, I think.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you letting me read a couple of things.
Oh, Preston, I love it. I love hearing poetry read and the emotion that you convey.
Well, maybe you should challenge your viewers to a limerick contest.
Okay.
And that's only 5 lines. In fact, do you know what the most popular poetry in the world is?
What?
2. Free verse and haiku.
Haiku.
Which is only typically 3 lines, can be 7, but there are 163 forms of poetry. And when I was managing the cultural exchange between the Netherlands and Texas, John Conley was involved. The minister Elko Brinkman was involved from the Netherlands. One of the aides said, "I hear your report. Do you know about concrete poetry?" There was a form I had never heard of.
So what is that?
Well, I wish I could tell you, but that was 30 years ago.
Okay.
And but poets, I say, come out of the woodwork. Show us what you got. Don't be shy. Don't be ashamed. I mean, put your talent out there. And I think with the city's help, maybe a poet laureate, ours will stand out with the other great cities in the state.
I don't think there's any question that Waco's got some amazing poetry.
And of course, you said, where do we hear poetry? Well, you even hear it in commercials. And so last night when I was pulling my notes together, suddenly the Brill Cream song came on. Brill, and you sing it as a young kid, so this is where you get in poetry. Brill cream, a little dabble, do you? Brill cream. You know the next line? You look so debonair, Brill cream, all the gals will pursue you. They want to run their fingers through your hair.
I never remember.
And so that's how we begin to embrace poetry.
Yeah.
And then it embraces back.
So obviously advertising has latched onto that.
I guess I should be labeled what? The Pied Piper of poetry promotion.
And that's good. That's good. Oh, Preston, you were just a joy, and really so lovely to get to hear your poetry. And you need to come back because we'll talk about a different aspect of your life. Talk more about the acting. I think would be fun. But it's a joy to have you here.
Well, you're an asset to helping all of our organizations and interesting individuals share themselves with others in the community, and I salute you for that.
Great fun. Thank you, Preston.
Thank you, and happy holidays.
To you as well. Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead, and we'll tell you that today's show is brought to you by Gather & Co. Kitchen and Bath, where they are transforming houses into homes. Stay with us.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. and its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. Launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. You like.
And welcome back to the show. I'm telling you what, this is the best time of year. It truly is, because we are going to be going to the Mayborn Museum, Bill and Vera Daniel Historic Village, for the lights in the village, which is something, Rebecca Knoll, we've been doing for, 6 years?
Yes, this is
now?
our 6th year.
Well, it is a great fun for me. Last year I got to sing in the church, and I'll be doing that again on the Friday nights, the 12th and then the 19th. So this is just a weekend-long thing.
Yes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 weekends in a row.
All right, and so what we're going to be doing there in the village, which is decked out, decorated so beautifully. There's a little train you can ride, and Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be there, and the music in the chapel. I'll be singing sing-along show in the chapel.
Yeah, there really is so much to do, and the village looks so magical at Christmas with all of the lights. And as you mentioned, we'll have Santa and Mrs. Claus. We'll also have a Santa's workshop. So Designed In, our makerspace, has a Santa's workshop that's outside in the historic village, so families can make their own Christmas cards, or choose to mail Christmas cards to other folks in town. And we'll be making, I think, some Christmas ornaments, and then we'll also have the music and the petting zoo. The petting zoo, is
Where is
always
that
such
located?
a hit. It's usually at the very far end of the village, over by where the barn is. And there's always some really fun animals. There's alpacas. There were some rabbits last year, some cute little pigs. That's so cute, so fun.
Well, it is obviously for the whole family. It's just a fun evening, and a great way to kick off the holidays. You will be having a tree lighting. I know last year it was kind of at the end of the evening, but you've kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah, we flipped it this year to be the kickoff for the event. We heard from a lot of our families that have younger kids that really having it at the end of the night, their kids had, turned into pumpkins by then. It's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to participate in the tree lighting, which has been such a fun thing that we've added to Christmas lights in the village. So now it's the very first thing that you'll do. We'll gather around the Christmas tree each night, turn the lights on, and sing a carol all together.
We sang Christmas Carol last year.
And so we'll have some guests lighting the tree each night. I know that Waco Civic Theater is coming a couple of nights, and so they'll help us kick off the event.
Well, you've got a bunch of wonderful elves who've been busy helping you get everything ready. The decorating of everything is that's got to be loads of fun.
It is. We're busy working on that. We're almost done now putting on the finishing touches, because it will open this Friday.
I know, it's coming
December
right
12th.
up.
Yep.
Yeah, so there are tickets available.
Yes.
So how do you do that? How do you get a ticket?
So you can purchase your tickets online in advance, and we're doing something different this year where you can purchase a ticket to Christmas Lights in the Village, and then also like an add-on ticket. There would be a discounted ticket price to go to the museum during the day. And you don't have to use those tickets on the same day.
That could make a long day.
It really could. And then
Yeah.
we kind of close for a little bit in between, so you don't want to just be hanging out. But we wanted people to feel like they had the opportunity to see the museum as well. So we
That's
have
good.
that combo ticket available, and you can purchase your tickets online or at the front desk the evening of. And you know, there's always around this time of year some like iffy weather. So the tickets are good for any night of Christmas Lights in the Village. So if you buy one and you plan to come on a Friday, but you end up coming on a Sunday instead, that's fine.
Yeah, well, that's good. So you will have it no matter, or if it's raining and cold and.
If it's raining and cold, we'll still have it. We try to have it no matter what. But if it's, you know, really inclement weather, if there's lightning,
Well, or
then-
ice, or you know,
yes,
who
then
knows?
then we would.
It's not going to do that.
Yeah, but we try to do, you know, rain or shine.
Oh, well, that's good. The outdoor village, though, is the different dwellings, the little houses, the stores. I mean, this is an authentic village. Tell us a little bit about how all that came to be at the museum complex.
Yeah, so the village was was put together by Governor Bill Daniel and his wife Vera, and they lived in Liberty, Texas, and East Texas, and it was donated to Baylor in the 80s. So in the 1980s, it was moved to campus in its current location, and that's before the Mayborn was there. So it was really, you know, forethinking on behalf of the museum director at the time to kind of claim that spot of land. And so it really represents, we've interpreted it to represent life in the 1890s of a small cotton community. So it's not representing Waco. In the 1890s, Waco was actually a pretty big, a bigger sized city.
Oh, sure, it wasn't a village like that.
But we have 9 wood-framed buildings outside, and so we have, you know, a landowner's house, a cook's house. That's usually a separate building, you know, in case of a cooking fire. You don't want your attached to your house.
The house is like a dog trot, an authentic Texas dog trot.
Yeah,
house.
the landowner's house is a dog trot, you know, which you would need in Texas, you know, prior to air conditioning.
Or just for airflow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a schoolhouse, which is always a favorite.
Oh, my granddaughters love to ring the bell.
Yes, you can ring the bell. You can also ring the bell in the church. And I know you're familiar with our church, but you can go in. We have, you know, beautiful pews, and you can stand at the pulpit. We have Bibles in the church. You can play the piano. You can go into the commissary or the general store and look at what a Sears catalog would look like. We have a replica of a Sears catalog from that time period, and you know what you could purchase in a general store versus what you had to order.
Yeah.
It's very immersive. Our families really love it, and it is, you know, so wonderful to, you know, bring some Christmas spirit to it this time of year.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, and you mentioned the opportunity for you to try your hand at some handcrafts with making the Christmas cards. I did that last year. It was so much fun, and you could also just make them and then you'll send them to like nursing homes.
Yes. We did that last year, and that is our plan to continue. Last year, the Christmas card decorating was so popular. It was very crowded that we've moved it into a larger space this year to allow for a little bit more room. So it's going to be over in our carriage house area.
Okay.
Just so more people can participate.
Yeah. Well, I will look ahead. Just got a couple of minutes left, but Cultural Crossroads. This is coming up in April.
It is.
I know we're talking Christmas today, but April will be here tomorrow.
Yes.
The way time flies. So tell me briefly about what's coming in April.
Well, our building is currently under renovation. If you're familiar with our Texas Lifeways exhibit, where we're telling the people story of Central Texas in the 1800s, we're redoing that exhibit, but adding 5,000 square feet of exhibit space to the museum. So we're talking about the rich cultures that lived here in the 1800s, and, you know, how those stories really contribute to who we are as Waco, as Central Texas today. And you'll be able to walk into a church and listen to excerpts from the Black Gospel Music Archive. We'll have a replica of the suspension bridge that you can kind of, walk out into the historic village. You can play a game called Gone to Texas. So we'll have a board game in the exhibit where you can, learn about the challenges that people faced whenever they were, moving to Texas during that period. It's going to be, really interesting and offer a lot more opportunities for hands-on engagement for people of all ages. Our natural history wing is really, geared towards more adults. Where we're talking at that level. But we know that we need it to be a little bit more hands-on, really for everyone, and more immersive. And we can't wait. They've been knocking down walls. It's really exciting to get to see the progress.
Well, it's a delightful aspect of the Reigniting Curiosity campaign that has been your hallmark for the last many months. And Mayborn Museum is just such a fun place. I mean, it is a go-to spot. And of course, the holidays with the lights at the village. Again, they can come and get tickets there if they want, but you can go online. And what are the cost of the tickets?
So the Christmas lights is $12.
Okay.
For everyone, adults and children, or for museum members, they're $8.
Okay. Good reason to go ahead and get that museum membership.
Absolutely.
All right, Rebecca, always a delight. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to being there on the 12th and the 19th, the Friday nights of the Christmas lights at the village. And we're going to sing some songs in the chapel. So
thank you so much, Anne. We're excited to have you.
Well, it's fun. Thanks. Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. At TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, Your Bank for Life.
It's football season, and we can create your outdoor tailgating spaces that is actually a part of your home. Bifold doors that tie in the inside and the outside, and you can gain anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 square feet living space, all while taking in the big game, poolside. Call us at Gather & Co. Kitchen and Bath, where we can create your unique tailgating space.
Hey Waco, meet your new favorite email. It's called the Waco Buzz, the local newsletter that skips crime and chaos and gets straight to the good stuff. New restaurants, hidden gems, weekend events, and stories that make you proud to call Waco home. It's quick, free, and written by people who love Waco as much as you do. Join thousands of neighbors who already start their mornings with the Waco Buzz at thewacobuzz.com.
A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
Christmas time is always special at the magnificent Armstrong Browning Library. It houses the world's largest collection devoted to the lives of Victorian poets Robert and Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Here you can get a glimpse into their everyday lives. And besides, who doesn't love a wonderful love story?
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
Executive Director Jennifer Borderud says this beautiful building was the vision of longtime English Department Chair Dr. A.J. Armstrong. It was needed to house the university's growing collection of Browning memorabilia. In the late 1940s, Baylor President Pat Neff gave Dr. Armstrong $100,000 if he could match it.
Dr. Armstrong far exceeded those expectations and did raise enough money, and it was about $1.7 million when this building was completed.
We begin our visit in the awe-inspiring McLean Foyer of Meditation, with its 40-foot ceilings and recessed dome covered in 23-karat gold leaf. It looks like velvet.
The workmen created that velvety-like appearance by pressing the gold leaf into the plaster with their thumbs while it was still wet. So what looks like fabric from down here is actually thousands of little thumbprints.
Striking cathedral windows flanked by Italian marble give a feeling of sunrise or sunset as the shades of glass go from amber to lavender. The library boasts what's believed to be the largest collection of secular stained glass windows.
We have 62 stained glass windows that you are able to see throughout the building, most of which illustrate either Robert or Elizabeth's poetry.
A unique item is the bronze cast of the poet's hands, commissioned in 1853.
What's interesting about this particular sculpture is that we can tell how small the Brownings were. Elizabeth's hand is the one there on top.
Indicative of their love story, which began when Elizabeth Barrett's distant cousin, John Kenyon, played matchmaker.
He encouraged Robert Browning to write Elizabeth a letter of introduction. That began a correspondence between the two poets. They eventually met in person and then eventually decided to marry. Elizabeth actually wrote 44 love sonnets for Robert Browning during their courtship, but it wasn't until 3 years after they were married that she finally decided to show them to him.
Her famous sonnets from the Portuguese may have been composed on this table when she lived at 50 Wimpole Street.
I also really enjoy the Elizabeth Barrett Browning Salon on the 3rd floor, which is meant to look like a 19th century living room, and it also contains a desk that belonged to Elizabeth prior to her marriage to Robert Browning. And so we like to think that maybe she wrote some of her love letters to Robert Browning while sitting at that desk.
Browning scholars come here from all over the world, walking through massive bronze doors at the entrance. Each side weighs 3/4 of a ton, depicting scenes from the Brownings' poetry. You'll see a theme of bells and pomegranates.
We think that to Browning, the bells represented the music of poetry, and the pomegranates with their many seeds represented sort of the many forms of meaning that you can find in poetry.
And you can view priceless artwork and furniture in the Hankhammer Treasure Room, some of it belonging to the Brownings.
Even though the Brownings were from England, they lived in Italy the 15 years that they were married, and that's the reason for a lot of the Italian influence that you'll see throughout the building.
Dr. Armstrong's vision, not only devoted to the work of the Brownings, but also to creating an inspirational place on campus, all comes together here in the gorgeous Armstrong Browning Library and Museum. On the Baylor campus, I'm Ann Harder.
At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.